Hey everyone, so what you just saw there was a box jump. The reason behind me doing that first up is because with it being the Christmas season and holiday season, you're gonna come across a lot of plyometric workouts. Well, a lot of influencers will be highly promoting highly plyometric workouts. It's just the time of year and people usually associate plyometrics with weight loss. That isn't necessarily true, but anyway, it is a good way to train if you're doing it right. But there's a couple little considerations to take into account. So as much as I say don't do box jumps if you can't do it, some people are going to do it anyway because they'll read into it and think that this is going to help them burn more calories. So if people are going to do it, then I'm going to show to teach it properly. So a couple of things to consider is your kinetic chain. So you want to make sure that your spine is pretty straight when you're hinging down into that squat. So we've got a couple of points of contact. So we've got our ankle when we're coming down and we're doing dorsiflexion, so the ankle is coming back in. When we're bringing our leg joint down, we're decreasing that angle and we're getting that action right there. Then when we spring up, we're going into plantar flexion to launch ourselves up. Then above that, you got your knee. So as you're loading up to engage, you're going into flexion. Then when you're springing off with power, you're going into knee extension. And then the other side of it, you got hip, going into hip extension from flexion. So you got to make sure that you can properly hinge in those joints specifically, making sure that you do have that angle, that ankle being able to go through those motions of plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. If your knee is able to go through full extension and able to go through flexion, if your hips are able to go through extension and hip flexion. One way to look at it, you should always I have this rule, you should always squat before you do any plyometric jumps or anything like that. Because if you're squatting pattern and your knees are rolling in and your ankles are caving outwards, then that's a sign when you go to land on the box jump, you're more likely to hurt yourself. So the phase that people are more likely to hurt themselves isn't necessarily the engaging or the explosiveness, it's more so when they go to land. So you're going from engaging, then you're going through force production to burst yourself up, and you're missing the whole point of force reduction. So learning how to control your body to land safely without having to hinder those joints or sway out of the kinetic chain. If I was going to recommend something, if you're adamant about doing box jumps, grab a TRX, those wall mounts that are on the wall, hold them, squat and jump using them. They will teach you how to box jump, and you're just looking at your knees and ankles and making sure they stay in line when you're exploding up and when you're coming back down. So yeah, just consider that when you're doing plyometrics like a squat jump. I am going to do more videos about plyometrics. Like I said, this is going to be the season where people are going to start pumping them out in programs to just sell them as if they're going to be the be-all end-all to weight loss. They're good, but they can injure you. So yeah, just little considerations taken into account. Take my rule, learn to squat, go for depth, keep an eye on that kinetic chain. Once your squat's on point, cool, then try it. Awesome.